Now, to delve deeper into the availability of petroleum products in the country, we're being joined by Channels Television's energy correspondent, Olu Phillips. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dominic.
So let's just get straight into it. What's with the fluctuation in the price of fuel? What's leading to this?
Let's keep it very simple and in such manner that our audience can understand. Nigeria operates a deregulated downstream oil sector. What that means is that there is no price fixing, there is no price gouging. By implication, it means that your petrol or premium metal spirit, as it should be called, is like any other commodity that you buy in the market. Just like you don't have regulations for tomatoes or your groceries, food items, petroleum products like PMS and diesel. Diesel was deregulated in 2009, and this has been deregulated with the coming up of the Petroleum Industry Act, which is now a law. So it will generally obey the laws of demand and supply. Mind you, yes, people say that we have crude oil in abundance in Nigeria. Why do we have problems with petroleum products, which are the derivatives? Truth is that you may have that crude oil under your feet in your community in Niger Delta, but that product is priced internationally. It's priced in dollars. Mind you also that, yes, there's also the crude for Naira transaction of what a lot of people have considered a fantastic policy by the federal government to Dangote Refinery, for instance, and other refineries in Nigeria and other refiners in Nigeria. What that simply also means is that if the crude oil price today is $100, it will be sold to Dangote at $100 and every other refiners at $100, but you pay the equivalent in Naira. That's what the crude for Naira sale is. So you're wondering why these things are still undulating, for instance, is the fact that I could have bought it just yesterday when it sold at $67. And over the next 2 weeks, it has moved to $65, for instance. So that price will come down at the pump price. If it goes up to $80, yes, federal government makes a lot of money because you have a lot of petrol money coming in, petrol dollar coming in. But the derivative, which is the refined petroleum product, which follows a lot of procedures and a lot of derivative in terms of catalysts to bring it down to the product, you also need to buy those things in dollars. And that's why it affects the pump price. But people have also wondered, I know you may be itching to ask me that question, that with the coming of the Dangote Refinery, why do we have a big refinery that can meet Nigeria's need and still having sort of kind of petrol pricing that is a bit high for people and myself and yourself? Well, I'm not too sure that the refinery, for instance, is doing 650 in terms of output. Okay. Perhaps when it does that, we may now say, okay, all the Nigerian needs is being produced from one refinery, as it were. Howbeit, what that means is that there's going to be a shortfall from our 45 million liters, which is said to be our daily consumption. Now, if that happens, it means that the shortfall has to be augmented by way of supplemented through importation. Mind you, the law in Nigeria today, the petroleum industry law, does not prohibit importation. Okay. And there is no crime in importing petroleum products. Okay. So I'll just wait for you to ask me, but this is what it really is. We need to understand that these prices will continue to undulate until it finds an equilibrium.
Now with this price modulation, are we expecting any scarcity, knowing that such scenarios have played out in the past?
Except something untoward or natural happens, I don't see that possibility from where I sit, because we have in-country capacity, production is being ramped up. We have a refinery that can handle, for instance, by the way of nameplate capacity, can handle Nigeria's daily consumption in terms of products. I don't see any problem with that. But with this kind of price undulation, there's also another factor in it, which has to do with competition. We have a lot of marketers, a lot of outlets competing for whose price is better in terms of where to go and buy. I can decide to drop my price not because I'm making profit, But because you're next door neighbor and you're selling more than I'm selling, I can decide to put down my price and people come to me and they buy and all of that. But I'm doing that at a loss. How much of that loss can I bear? It gets to a point people might begin to hoard the product. So that's where the scarcity comes from. But we pray that competition will just be healthy enough that it doesn't lead to hoarding. It doesn't lead to a situation where people are necessarily selling below cost price and making their fellow competitors difficult, lose. So they are losing, I'm losing, the nation is losing. There can be that scenario. Competition can breed that. That's where the regulator comes in, the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency, and I think that's what the hemsman there was trying to say, that we are watching the situation and we should be able to intervene when that is necessary. And mind you, there's also a ramp up in the midstream sector of the economy, of the petroleum industry, that allows for more gas to come into the system where you can now have CNG. For the price of 900 naira per liter, a CNG equivalent of 1 liter will give you like 200. So I think we really need to pursue this CNG conversation and make sure that it becomes the true alternative fuel of choice.
Hopefully we will do that. Thank you very much. Olu Phillips is Channels Television's energy correspondent. Thank you.